Two teenagers are now facing charges after a fight at Blake High School ended with one of them being shot. 19-year-old Djibia Gombo, who is not a Blake student, is charged with that assault after he apparently got his hands on the gun.
Our Maryland Bureau Chief Brad Bell was there as Gombo was ordered held without bond. Brad, there's a lot of new information coming out on this case.
Yeah, a melee is how it's being described, what happened at the school last week, and police are still sorting everything out. But they now believe that the gun actually was brought to the school by the 17-year-old student who ended up being shot, grazed in the knee, and that a gunshot wound to the foot. And that this other person that's charged intervened in the fight later on, but the prosecution says at that point he did commit a serious crime, the judge agreeing that he's a danger to the community. In the aftermath of the caught-on-camera brawl and shooting, which wounded a student in the parking lot of Blake High School last week, the finger of blame was quickly pointed at a 19-year-old former Blake student named Djibia Gombo. But new details are emerging. According to court documents, police believe it was actually the 17-year-old student who was injured in the shooting who brought the gun to school. Prosecutors say he, too, will soon face charges. As for Gombo, it's alleged when he saw students fighting and a gun dropped to the ground, he stepped in and picked up the gun. His lawyer claimed during a bond review that he grabbed it so no one else would get shot, but police say he actually pointed the gun at a school security officer before obeying orders to drop it. State's Attorney John McCarthy says everybody involved shares some guilt.
I think the fact that a gun is on school property is terrifying. The fact that it was picked up and pointed at allegedly pointed at another individual, and I think those are terrifying facts.
After Gombo was ordered held without bond, his father defended his son outside the courthouse.
I have nothing to say for now.
Is he a good guy?
He's a very good guy.
He's a good son?
Yes.
The facts of the case are renewing calls for Montgomery County to return full-time school resource officers to high schools. As it stands now, they have officers who float among schools within high school clusters. Response to emergencies can be slow. Now, Council Member Andrew Friedson says it's time to bring them back.
We're the only large jurisdiction in the state of Maryland that doesn't have permanently assigned school resource officers in our high schools. And there are understandable concerns and questions about whether or not that makes sense and that's appropriate.
State's Attorney McCarthy wants SROs and weapons detection systems.
I think the presence of the police officers and the kinds of relationships they can build with our students, I think, make our schools safer. I am in favor of SROs. I am in favor of metal detectors in our schools. And I think there should be, and I think that, look, we just want our kids to be safe.
Yeah, and so that's how McCarthy concluded his comments. He just wants the kids to be safe. Now, with regard to the 17-year-old who they believe brought the gun to school and who was subsequently injured, McCarthy says that that young person will be facing charges as well once he is fully treated and released from the hospital. And they're still investigating, looking at other videos to see if anybody else there should be charged as well. Scott?
Yeah, Brad, what would you say at this point, though, is the likelihood of that actually happening? And then what's the school system say about this?
Yeah, with regard to SROs and metal detectors coming into the schools, you know, I can't put odds on it, but the school system did send me a statement saying that they are committed to a collaborative process to discuss all these issues, but that they have resource constraints, right? There's not a lot of money to spare and not a lot of police officers to spare. So at this point, that's where things stand. If the Board of Education makes an official request to the county executive, then things can move ahead. But right now, all we're hearing is talk and no real action in that direction. In Rockville, Brad Bell, 7 News.